All right, I'm going to go ahead and take you through the DataBlend Google Sheets app for use with adaptive planning. It's a great way to get your reports into a formatted manner into Google Sheets in a real-time or near real-time manner without a lot of additional effort. All right, everything works within the extensions menu here. DataBlend is a certified add-on. You get it here from the Google add-ons menu. You simply come in here, you can search for DataBlend, and you'll see you can download that here. Once you have that extension installed, you're able to navigate to the main menu. You're able to put in credentials for adaptive, manage your hierarchies from adaptive, and create new extracts and reports of data, or work with existing ones. I'm going to take you through working through some existing queries first, and then we'll go from there. So I click on Edit, Execute, Save Queries. It's going to bring up our side menu of our available reports. Now you can see here I am looking at a functional P&L. It's currently set for February, and what I'm going to go ahead and do is jump over to Adaptive here, and I'm going to go to my expenses sheet, and we'll just take an account here. We're in Sales North, just to note it, and I'm going to change one of my pieces of information to a very large, we'll call it $10 million here. Save that just so that we have a point of reference for the data. Now we jump back in here. We're on my P&L export. I'm going to go ahead and execute the query. This will run my report. I'm going to bring up my menu. If I had prompts and parameters attached here, it would be here. Go ahead and execute. Takes a few seconds. It's going to go out to Adaptive, export your data, pull that over, and allow you to view that. It pulls over all account attributes as well as associated dimensions if you select that, and I'll walk you through kind of that configuration here in a minute. Once the extract is set, it actually is using, and you can see here in the function bar, using a proprietary database function to load the data into the formatted sheet. So it is a two-step process. We first connect the sheet, and you can see here it is connecting. Now the functions are loading, and there we have our data. And you can see here, sales and marketing increased to that $30 million, so a $10 million increase. The way this is working, as you can see, it is using this database references, using dates, a month value, and getting your account versions from that extract. What's great about this is we also can parameterize it. So here I'm going to go ahead and take a step through modifying this report so that I can change my date parameters. You can see it was set for February. And that was based off of these prompts. So you can see here it's pulling in a couple of versions and a date range of November and December. I'm going to move this forward a month. So we'll move it from November as the beginning point to December. Oops. December. And from February of 2024, we'll move it up to March. Just by changing those dates, we can now save and execute. It's going to go through that same process. But now when we get it, you'll see that the report will move forward from February to March. All right, it's established a connection, and now the links are refreshing. You can see the references are updating. And there you can see we've moved forward to March for both month and year to date. So a couple of things to point out. This is a specific function. You can see here, it's, you reference it by entering an equals adaptive. And in this instance, the date range, the date reference, and that we want months, then the account and the version. I will jump over here. If you note in the year to date, it also can return year. So the same function, you don't have to do a lot of Excel or Sheets wizardry in this instance to get your formatted reports. Just to take this to another example, we'll jump over here. You can have the same concept here in our, this formatted trend report. And I'll just point out that these functions here, if we needed to, you can see here payroll, taxes and benefits don't have the data. You simply can copy and paste that up, and it does reference our logic and copies that data and refreshes it in. And there you have it. So they look just like regular functions, but it has a bit more power. So it does take a moment to refresh. And there you can see it is quite easy. Now what I want to do, so if we go back, we've worked with 2 existing reports. I want to go ahead and create a new query and walk you through how straightforward that is. And actually to do that, I'm going to jump over here to the sample page, and we'll go ahead and walk through just doing a raw data extract. So we're going to go new saved query. Call this 5.sample. You tell it what sheet you want it to go to. I'm going to put it to sample, and where you want it to start, which row and which column. Here we can choose that this is a collector of data, which means it's a first collection from Adaptive. And now we're going to hit save and continue. All right, so this will bring us up for all of our parameters and options to create a data extract. You can see we are doing a data export, so we'll choose that. We do have the ability to simplify this view, which is what you saw before, but now we want all our options. If we go ahead and hit show, we can choose what version we want to extract or multiple versions. So in here, why don't we go ahead and grab our working budget, and why don't we grab actuals? And if you hit, include in schema, they'll be available for your selection later. You can skip over sheet name if now we're doing a modeled sheet export, set a date range of what our export would be. So come down here, we'll choose 2024, so January. And again, we'll go down to December, add that. And let's see, for this, we can filter on all accounts. You can see it's giving you all your accounts, your custom metric, model, cube. In this instance, why don't we go ahead and we'll grab, why don't we grab our revenue accounts, and we'll include descendants. So that means all the sub accounts. And we'll go ahead and grab all of our expense accounts and include all those descendants. You can filter by level. I'm going to go ahead and leave that open. So that means it's going to give me all levels. I will note you can choose to include account attributes here or level attributes, as well as dimension attributes. So all attribute values are possible, as well as associated dimension values. For this export, I'm going to include account attributes, and I'm going to not include any further data. We do have other options to put named ranges on your column, which you saw used in some of those functions, or an unpivot of data will puts it in a table. We're going to leave those off for right now, and we're going to go ahead and hit save and execute. So this is going to go ahead and establish that connection with Adaptive and call the data that's referenced in that extract. Now, this will be just a raw export, which you then would take the further steps to format using some of the function capability I just showed you, as well as I'm going to show how you can further format your data once you've extracted it here in just a moment. And the great new thing, once you've set the initial export, you're able to just execute it and rerun it. You don't have to reset these parameters each time you go through. And there you go. So you can see we've established that new data set of connection, and our data is coming back from Adaptive. Then as we close out of there, we can go back to our edit menu, and you'll see we'll have this option here in our main menu sample. So if we want to rerun this, refresh it, change the date ranges, all very doable. Okay, so that's again a fairly raw set of data. So now let's say we want to do something like revenue by product and make it more formatted. So I've got a table with some nice formatting here ready to go. And just to get us started, I did pre-configure this. So I'm going to go ahead and run this. So we'll go ahead and execute this query. This is a report format. So this will be data coming out in a formatted manner in, where you don't have any formula references. So we'll go ahead and execute that workflow. And then once we've run this, we'll go ahead and modify it so you can see how that works. It's going out and getting our product revenue data from Adaptive, transforming it to a Google Sheets format, and then we're going to load that in here. Great. So now you can see we've got our product breakdown across the side here, and our time across the top for a specific department. So we'll go ahead and hit back, and you'll note these are values coming right from Adaptive. So now if we go in and we modify this product revenue, what you'll see is we're going to have the opportunity to, first of all, you can see it tells us where we're starting, same as the others. This is starting in column B, row 6. It's a report type. So when we hit save and continue, so it'll bring up our report canvas to select fields. And here you can see you've got to drag all your components you would expect from your report and a sort of pivot table style canvas that you can drag and drop components onto. So you can see here we have time, product, we're filtering for sales north. You can see we only go through June. So if we wanted to go ahead and add July, you can see we can go ahead and add July, add August, and if we open up our product dropdown, you can see we don't have product C5. We can go ahead and drag C5 over. So you can see drag and drop, no formula building, and I can simply hit save and execute. It's going to again refresh that data and bring it back all in the nice, report ready format. There you have it. You can see I need to just give my columns a little more space here, but the data came right in. Retained all the formatting. I will note, so you can see all the formatting stays. It just brings in the data as you set it up. So that's another way you're able to get data into a nice presentation format. All right, so now we've covered all of our data extracts, that you can get raw data out. We have our custom database functions that let you get formatted real-time reporting. You have the pivot functionality I just showed, but now you also can get data back into Adaptive. So we're going to go ahead and bring back up our save menu here. And we've got a import for revenue. So we have a very basic revenue import template, but this can get much more sophisticated. You can format a page like this up to fit the appearance you need. It does not have to be the simple tabular appearance, but for demo purposes, this fits. So you can see I've made a series of inputs here, units by department, by product, by customer, and this would associate in my demo model, if we jump in here, to my product revenue cube. And you can see here I'm on customer 1, product A2. You can see we've got 167 units each, and that's what's driving revenue in our model. So if I jump back to my sheet, you'll see my product. This customer is set to load this row of data for these months. We can even add a bit more to it, so you can see it's all dynamic. We also have some data for customer 2, product A2, A3. You could go on and on. There's as many rows populated as you want. To get this data in, we have this import workflow here. You simply click on the execute button. That will pop up our menu here. It'll show you can choose which version you're loading this to. So in this instance, I'm loading it to this working budget. I'm going to go ahead and hit execute. I'm going to go grab the data from the sheet and get my Google Sheets inputs. So I'm going to format it into Adaptive formatting and go ahead and load that into Adaptive. When that's complete, we'll just jump over here to Adaptive and go ahead and hit refresh. And you'll see there's our data we loaded in for customer 1, product A2. So we have fairly easy to use and intuitive bidirectional data from Google Sheets to Adaptive, leveraging DataBlend to get your formatted reporting and get data into and out of Adaptive with ease. Thank you very much, and please let us know if you have any questions.